we had begun the process, Chris, of spitballing potential head coaching candidates in Washington for 2020. It's Bill Callahan for now. Unless he takes that team to the playoffs, he's not going to be the coach next year.
Right.
So who do we think it'll be?
Yeah.
We talked about Urban Meyer.
Right.
Reunite him with Dwayne Haskins. Right. I like that idea.
Yeah, I get it.
But what other names come to mind for you?
Yeah, okay. I think the ones I look at it, Eric Bieniemy, all right, for the Kansas City Chiefs, the offensive coordinator. I think he's head coaching material.
Here's what's amazing, though.
Yeah.
Last year, all those jobs were open.
It's ridiculous.
He never got a serious sniff.
I think that was ridiculous, okay, for a lot of reasons, but I'm not even going to go there right now. Okay, I know you brought up Mike McCarthy a few minutes ago. I think that could be a real possibility.
Super Bowl winner, former Packers coach, motivated, available.
Right, and guys like him and Urban Meyer are the kind of guys, we need to get the organization straightened out and get things going in the right way and all have a common goal and get it all going there. You know, I look at like a Mike McCarthy. He is certainly capable of doing that. And then the other one that really jumps out to me, because I think the guy's one of the best coaches in the sport, and I know I'm biased here, but it's Josh McDaniels. I look at Josh and I had time with him as a player and working for him in New England, and I just think the world of him because I've seen his detailed daily approach and what he's all about, and he would be one name I would certainly think about as well.
Would he ever?
I don't know. I don't know.
He was
loves
just
New
there
England.
yesterday.
I know.
He walked into that third world country masquerading as a football stadium.
Right.
He's smart enough to know that it's dysfunction from top to bottom.
Right.
I just don't know that for a guy who's got options. Now, it was weird because last year there wasn't as much interest in him. People were recoiling a bit from what happened with the Colts. But I just don't know that he'd give up New England
Maybe not.
for an organization that really needs ultimately a gutting.
Yes.
And Bruce Allen, I'm sorry, Bruce Allen needs to go. If Jay Gruden needs to go, Bruce Allen needs to go. And some would say Dan Snyder needs to go, but you can't fire the owner, as Jed York said a few years ago.
Cannot.
When the 49ers were much worse than they are now. Other names that we have bandied about. Jim Harbaugh.
Right.
Not as sexy as it would have been a couple of years ago.
No, yes.
But how about Jim and John Harbaugh right down the road from each other in Washington and Baltimore?
That's a nice family story, but that's a disaster for the Redskins. I mean, the Jim Harbaugh love affair is over. I mean, he's overrated, and I don't like him, and I got nothing good to say about him.
But what happened in Michigan? I mean, how is it? He's
supposed to be an offensive coach, and his offense stinks, okay?
That would
every
be a
year.
problem.
Well, he changes offensive coordinators every year, and it's still the same crap. So, something tells me he's micromanaging, and it's his offense, even though he likes to blame offensive coordinators. And then, I mean, you see Michigan in enough college football. I mean, they got some good defensive players. They got no game breakers on the offensive side. I would bet you a lot of kids meet Jim Harbaugh, and they're like, I'm not going to play for that guy. Let me go somewhere else.
He does have a vibe about him.
It's a jerk. That's the vibe. You're a jerk, Jim.
There's a vibe.
Sorry.
There's a vibe that, you can get away with it when you're winning. Like Bill Belichick.
Right.
Bill Belichick's a jerk. You can get away with it when you've got pelts on the wall or pellets on the horse.
Bill doesn't treat human beings like jerks off the field, though, and Jim does. Jim's a jerk all around. I have nothing positive to say except that he's a jerk. Sorry.
That's not positive.
No, I know you're right. Well, it's positive. I can go worse.
You're positive that he's a jerk.
The jerk is the positive part.
You're positive about that.
You really want me to go? Let's get a explicit version of PFT OT.
How about this?
Right.
Because Dan Snyder got Joe Gibbs, Hall of Famer at the time, Joe Gibbs, out of an extended retirement. Does he make a similar let me dust off a legendary coach like a Bill Cowher?
Yeah.
Does he call Tony Dungy? Tony would hang up the phone immediately, I assume. But is there an older coach out there who's out of the game, been out of the game, but maybe could be brought back to the game? And could it be Cowher after all these years? Could Dan Snyder dangle enough money to get Bill Cowher?
Cowher's the only one that I can think of that fits that narrative, at least right now, off the top of my head. I haven't put a whole lot of thought into this whole thing yet, but it's been a long time.
There's not even any talk about him coming back anymore. At least for Gruden, it continued.
You're right.
Cowher, it ended 5 years ago.
No, it seems like he's even given up trying to get his name in the conversation. He's perfectly happy with his next phase of life or where he's at right now. But
Jeff Fisher's available.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I would think about Jeff Fisher, the GM. I would say that. Jeff Fisher has got an eye for talent. If you want somebody to go in there and maybe get the organization headed in the right way, that way, I think that would make a lot of sense. I don't know if you're going to be able to sell to your fan base he's the right head coach.
If Mike Tomlin gets run out of Pittsburgh,
That's a good one.
I could see Mike McCarthy in Pittsburgh and maybe Tomlin in Washington.
He's
a big Eastern Virginia guy. That's close enough.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, Mike Tomlin has the energy and a charisma and personality about him that I do think he can kind of change the aura of a franchise around in a hurry. Jason
Garrett, if the Cowboys don't keep him, although I can't imagine Washington wanting Jason Garrett.
Yeah.
We mentioned Josh McDaniels. Mike Pettin.
Mike Pettin is, he deserves to be in these kind of conversations, I think, probably gosh, you look back at what he did with the Browns. You start to go, that was a pretty good job for that crap team at that point in time. We got to continue to see what he does this year. But I do think Mike Pettin is worthy of being a head coach again in the NFL.
Let me give you a name that kind of fits into the idea of an older coach, but that wouldn't be a guy who comes in and says, I want Bruce Allen out of here. He'll just kind of go along with whatever ownership wants.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Wade Phillips.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. Wade, yeah.
Here's the thing. We are taking what an abnormal team would do. And
right.
that's why it's like all due respect to Wade Phillips, but, Wade Phillips is in that Norv Turner category where they're good enough at coordinators to periodically fool someone into thinking they can get it done as head coaches.
Right.
But we're trying to project what a dysfunctional organization is going to do, and that would be a way to kind of bring in an established guy.
Definitely.
Who would work. He would just keep kind of goes
energy,
along.
Personality.
Yeah.
Yep.
Knows how to coach the players up.
Knows how to coach defense. You're right.
Yeah.
There's some positives there about Wade Phillips. We all agree. He got a little bit of a raw deal, certainly, with the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think there's any denying that. And he is one of the better defensive minds we've seen in football over the
Except for the past
few
2
decades.
weeks.
Well, yeah, they've had some issues there. There's no doubt. But I get what you're saying there. I think really, I'm just sitting here and I'm going to continue to spitball this, but
no way, Greg Williams. Stats is suggesting Greg Williams.
Nah.
He was there at one point.
Yes. Under Joe Gibbs, the coordinator. Yeah, I don't think so. That's going to be hard to. I think.
But again, we're trying to predict what a dysfunctional team's going to do.
Right. It's got to be either. I think like a McCarthy, a Tomlin, if that happens, an Urban Meyer, or somebody young and exciting that the fan
Lincoln
base.
Riley.
Yeah, Lincoln Riley. I want to say yes, that type of guy, but I also want to go like, Cliff Kingsbury's offense is nothing special at this point. I think we need to just calm down with that a little bit. Does somebody emerge from Sean McVay's staff, from Kyle Shanahan's staff, one of those guys, because, of course, they were all in Washington together. McVay was under Shanahan at one point. Is there somebody there that kind of rises to the top as the season goes? I don't know, but I think we've hit a lot of the main names I would come up with.
I wanted to have as comprehensive a list as possible because inevitably it'll be someone we didn't mention.
Most likely. We hit some good ones.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.